Saggies. How are you doing today? This is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hello. How are you? So happy to be back to this format. It's much more personal for some reason. Do you agree? Like, drop a comment if you agree. No, don't. All right, we're going to have a look, Sagittarius, into your current situation, the higher view over your situation, and what you can do to help yourself. So basically advice from Spirit, and you take it or leave it depending on how it resonates with you. Because whatever doesn't resonate is most likely for somebody else, okay? Yes. For Sagittarius. What I was given for you also, and this could be a rather specific message, approach the situation with love. That's an important one, because sometimes we can get fired up about something, especially fire signs. I'm a Leo sun, so I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart though too. So I understand the fieriness, the anger, the explosiveness that we fire signs hold. And I highly recommend sulfur, by the way, if you have like ancestral anger. Unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. It also helps with sleeping issues. It helps with or falling asleep issues, actually, which is incredible. It helps with depression or with mood. It's unbelievable, that stuff. And we just need it. Like, we need that element of sulfur, like globules or globuli, if you want to find those, the sugary pearls that are just covered with the essence of sulfur. Unreal, that stuff. Okay. Alrighty-o. So, yeah, approach the situation with love. It's really like sometimes when we go into something heated, whatever it is, conversation with a person or at work or whatever it is, those conversations usually never need more agitation. Those conversations usually need more love. And when you're tapping into it, it should resonate with you. It should be resonating at some level, like when you're tapping yourself into anger, how much of ego is involved. And I'm talking to myself too, right? This is not just, oh, Saggies, no. So that, and then you have on the other hand, love, like when you approach the situation with love and when you're going in there with an open heart and see what happens. Because when we're talking about mirroring effects, that can have such a strong reaction when you're holding up the mirror of love and the other person first starts to be like this, right? And you're still holding up the mirror of love and see what happens. You can see this in animals too. It's beautiful when they're fearful, for example, like rescue dogs or something is coming to mind, and then it's just like, rah, 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 and you're just like, I'm approaching you with love, and maybe even doing one of these and coming closer so they can feel safe. That is very much in the human realm as well, to approach it. I don't mean to stay here, and I really need to stress this. If you're in an abusive relationship with anyone, like, don't take that crap. We're love and light, but also with a little bit of fuck you over here. So it's just like, you need to know your boundaries too. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't mean to be like this when the other person is abusive. But I mean like regular people that don't have those types of issues. Yes, that is recommended here in your situation, okay? Because I just heard because they're going to do it again, okay? So, Sagittarius, this one, no, this one, yes, oh my God, yes, approach it with love. Come on, Saggies. Ace of Cups, and that makes me smile so much. It's just like, yes. Approach the situation with love. The cosmos is behind you. Christ consciousness is behind you. I mean, supporting you. Oh, yes. Radiate from your love, honey. Maybe this is exactly what you need to hear today. Maybe you have an important conversation ahead of you or an important decision to make. Feel into this. This could be very, very helpful. Very helpful, and allow you to turn the situation around, I want to say. Instead of pushing it, because some of us really are powerful, or some of you are actually powerful and could have the ability to manipulate a situation a certain way. However, when you approach it with love instead of with pressure, watch it take magnificent forms that may even hold an opportunity or a possibility away, a path that wasn't there before. Ooh, I love it. Yes. Yes, Atis. Oh, this is gorgeous. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, I need to hear this too today. This is beautiful. So, yeah, cool. That feels so good. It feels so good. It feels so right. The Ace of Cups is also a new beginning, and that leads me to the new path that all of a sudden opens up, like a new possibility opens up when you take that path. It's so funny too, or when you make that decision to come from a place of love. It's so funny too, because the last three readings, excuse me, have been about very much your own involvement. Excuse me, please. Excuse me. The energetic release of the anger, I guess. Ooh, okay. Wow. And you know how much your involvement right now can change a certain situation or an outcome. Sometimes things are just thrown at us and we only have how we react to a situation that makes this ours, that we can decide which way it's going to go. Right now, it seems there's a lot of you can manipulate or influence a certain situation or an outcome by the way you are. Like, how are you showing up? This is really important information, I feel, because if we don't know this, we might crash into a situation, right? And crash this whole thing, smash up the place. And it's just like, oh my God. And then something happens, and later we're like, I wish I hadn't done this. And then when you have that information now, it matters like how you show up and like in what way you show up really matters. And again, in terms of some of you here are really powerful. So how you bring through things and bring about things really matters, okay? It has an impact. When we're talking about karma or about repercussions of the actions that we take, which I very much believe in, that plays a huge role here. What else, please? This one, yeah. Oh, wow. More of that. The Queen of Cups. So coming from feelings. Speak about your feelings. Speak about how it really makes you feel, like come from the heart. Be vulnerable in this situation, okay? Be vulnerable. Again, not in an abusive relationship. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Get out. That's not what I'm talking about. Call out for help. If this is you. But apart from that, vulnerability is where it's at. Like tell them your feelings, not from an aggressive kind of a place, or not from an like heated kind of a place, but from a tranquil kind of a place, and to really explain how does that make you feel. How does that, because you'll be surprised. The other person might just do the same and reciprocate and be like, this is actually what this makes me feel like. Oh boy. Oh, this reminds me of be the change you want to see in the world. And this can sometimes be hard to do, but this is your reminder, also my reminder today, that we have more influence over the people and our surroundings than we sometimes perceive. There's also, Sagittarius, something about water, starting out in the Ace of Cups, but obviously it's here too. Cup energy, and see, this is the influence that you have. Some of you are very much able to manipulate water energy as well. When I'm thinking about programming water, you program yourself with love before you go in there. You also ask your angels and guides to be present, to give you the right words so that it comes out the right way, okay? Because there's no judgment from above at all. Like, you can go either way. This is just might be a more favorable outcome for all involved, like for the highest good of all. And it feels so much better. It doesn't feel like we're pushing through something here. It feels like it truly is good, and it truly is something that's favorable for many. And this is what we want here for sure. Okay. What else, please? Yes. This reading is turning out so beautifully. You have the Hierophant, so very spiritual here, number 5. But this is like a different kind of a state to reach. This is when we're further along. And again, where we actually, I want to bring the rose quartz in, and I want to put the clear quartz on my solar plexus here. This is a place where things are okay, exactly the way they are, no matter how they are, how they're presenting themselves to us. And the clear quartz on my solar plexus is actually calming the fire down a little bit. Aries, of course, like the Aries full moon, makes us heated, makes us fire, makes us go. But with the clear quartz, you can try this too. Like I have it right on my solar plexus here. It feels like I'm putting some water on that fire or something that's highly beneficial right now. So like a counterpart, not counterpart, like a counter kind of an action to too much fire in case you're feeling this. And with the Hierophant, you know, they're laughing about themselves in case in case it happened to you that you leashed out at someone, or lashed out, I think, not leashed out. No, lashed out at someone. It's just like laugh about that. Like, don't judge yourself here either. It's just like that's part of your own process, your own evolution. It's just like, yeah, let's roll with it. Don't take it too seriously. It's just life. It's just life is what they're saying. I really love this. Ah, thank you. Thank you, God. That can be right here. Yeah. Because that little bit of an influence is really like a lot of an influence in terms of the world at large. How you show up, how you react to certain things, even if it's just small things. And in terms of wars, in terms of bigger things, why are those started? Like, what's the origin of those? And where do we have our smaller battles, our smaller wars, and can those be avoided? So what they're saying is, instead of pointing the finger, and this is funny too, because one is pointing to the front and the other three are pointing back, which can be a sucky situation because you're just like, dang it, I have to look at myself, like this is within myself. But this is also where your power is at. Like when you're pointing the finger and saying, oh, it's that person, it's their fault, that's because they're the reason why I'm feeling bad, or that situation, or my life. And this can be hard to hear, I know, I get it. But the moment you're taking the power away from them, because if it's just them, you can't do a thing about it. The moment you take it back and take at least 50% of that can be potentially you, that has an influence, and you do have an influence again. Then you do have the power again to turn things around, or just to be like, okay, bye. I'm going to be over here. This is your field of influence and not over there. This is also important information, I feel. And I hope you're taking it the right way. Okay, let's see what else. This one, yeah, okay. So, my dear Sagittarius, let me pull you one last card before we take it over to Patreon. If you would like to see the rest of your reading, please click the link down below in the description box or the comment section. It's 11/11 a month, not just for this reading, but for all the readings created within that month. You can join at any time, and you can also cancel at any time. This is something that Patreon changed. It's not, you don't have to wait till the 1st anymore to join. It's whenever you feel called to, and that's when you're being charged again, from what I know. Okay, this one, yeah. Okay, yeah. So what we were touching base on, pointing the finger, can keep us stuck. Like from own experience, from my own victimhood mentality that I used to carry around for so long until I came into a different understanding. That's the place that I'm coming from, in case you're new and don't know this about me yet. It's very, very important to eventually step away from this. Because again, in terms of you hold the power, they should no longer have power over you. It should be yours, like 100%. And what I don't mean to say here is, if you went through abuse as a child, that was in any way like justified or okay, that's not what I'm saying either at all, because that would be truly unjust to your inner child and to what you went through or might have gone through. What I'm meaning to say now, as an adult, take the responsibility to take care of yourself, to take care of your inner child, and really work on feeling better and achieving a better life. But the moment you start to point, I am not where I need to be because of XYZ, you're stuck. That's why forgiveness is super, super important, okay? So holding on to a past hurt is preventing you from moving forward and achieving your heart's desires. Exactly. Let it go. Forgiveness does not mean that you condone another's actions. It simply means that you are no longer willing to be a perpetual victim to a particular person or event. You stop giving permission for them to bash you. for them to have even a finger or a tiny like inch of power in your life. You're saying no to that, and you're taking it all back to you, okay? And the rest you give back. Bless and surrender the past, for in doing so, you will reclaim the joy of life. 100%, 100%. And when that joy comes back, it's so good. It's so freaking good. It's so good. It's unbelievable. And because you've experienced the contrast between life feels shitty and then life can be so freaking good, amazing, it'll take you to completely new heights. Like it's truly beautiful, and it's worth the journey. And I know it sometimes feels like such a long one and it doesn't end, but believe you me, like things are, you're able to heal yourself and you're able to forgive. Like I wouldn't force it. Forgiveness is something that comes in automatically. Of course you can work with the Ho'oponopono, but also allow the anger to come up too, because that's important. Like at some stage you want to work with the anger and be like, okay, what's the root cause? Like, what is this telling me? Because often it's like from holding back something and something wants to push out, or from something, your immune system, like your boundaries, your internal boundaries making themselves known, like we're here and we want to be taken seriously. That's where anger can arise from too. And so it's a really good indicator, especially if that was suppressed and you weren't allowed any boundaries at some stage in your life. All right, Saggies, we'll take it over to Patreon again if you want to follow for the rest of your reading. Be my guest down below. And I hope this was helpful and or insightful to you. I love you very much. Much love, light, and shadow to all of you. My beautiful shadow workers and light workers and gray workers and in-between workers. I love you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next time or over on Patreon.